Landon and I are Archer's most famously sworn enemies. Put it this way, if the honor roll wall could throw punches, our names would be slugging it out from east to west. From the freshman year entrance scholarship to every single final grade, all the way to their outstanding student vote, we've been locked in a deathmatch of overachievement. The whole campus is convinced we'd happily strangle each other on sight. Only I know the truth. I do want to strangle him on a bed. Before we go any further, hit subscribe and drop your time zone in the comments. Therefore, in conclusion, I believe this year's President's Excellence Award belongs to me. I stood in the registrar's conference room, facing a row of administrators, my 5-minute presentation freshly delivered. My tone stayed humble, a polite smile pinned to my lips. Inside, I was roaring, "That $5,000 is mine. Do you know how many rare folios I could buy with that?" The dean at the center nodded approvingly and opened his mouth to speak. "Hold on." A voice, cool, like ice dropped into whiskey, rolled in from the doorway. My eyelid twitched. Here he comes. My nemesis, Landon. Today he wore a plain white shirt, black chinos, one hand pocketed, the other lazily braced against the doorframe. Behind the gold-rimmed glasses, those peach blossom eyes swept the room, then locked on me, 30% frost, 70% disdain. I know that look. He thinks I'm a clown who's overestimated her spotlight. Damn, he's hot. The deer in my heart was already concussed, but my face stayed glacial. I even tipped him an elegant eye roll. "Knight, you're late," I reminded him. He curved his lips, long legs carrying him inside. The air instantly tasted of crisp cedar. "Sorry, student government thing," he said, stopping beside me, an entire head taller, voice pitched for only me to hear. "Anyway, the headliner always shows up last." I combusted, not from rage, from the sheer sex appeal. This man flaunts his 8-pack V-line and that unfairly gorgeous face like a license to sin. To everyone else he's the iceberg prince, only I know how shamelessly sultry he is beneath the wrap. The next 5 minutes were pure Landon. No note cards, just that low magnetic voice reeling off a gold-plated resume, business school star, student body president, $2 million startup projects mentored sophomore year. Each bullet a knife planted squarely in my sternum. My mask stayed in your words our dogshit mode while my brain did the math. $5,000, gone. Sure enough, the deans nodded like bobbleheads, eyes glowing as if sizing up future sons-in-law. Finally the business school dean slapped the table. "Both candidates are outstanding, but considering overall contribution and future potential, Landon edges ahead." My heart dipped. Fine. Not my first loss. I inhaled, conjured an I so don't care smile, and spun toward the door. "Ava." Landon's voice stopped me. I didn't turn. "Here to gloat." He stepped in front, backlighting his face so I couldn't read his eyes behind the lenses. A soft laugh escaped him, and he slid a printout into my hand. "Next semester's elective, Western History, Wednesday afternoons, Humanities 301. Don't miss it." I froze. The most brutally oversubscribed gen ed on campus, taught by the legendary professor who never gives review sheets and flunks a third of the class. I'd camped at my laptop for 3 days and still hadn't snagged a seat. How did you know I wanted this?" He didn't answer. Instead he leaned in, warm breath brushing my ear. "Because," he murmured, love a secret low, "it's the only class that'll make you happy to see me once a week." Then he straightened and strode off, leaving me with a scorched palm and one thundering thought: he did that on purpose, the bastard. Wednesday afternoon, I walked into Humanities 301 15 minutes early. A handful of students dotted the room. And there he was, dead center. Black t-shirt today, forehead bowed over a thick original edition volume, profile sharp enough to cut glass. Sunlight poured through the windows and gilded every strand of his hair. I admit it, beauty hijacked my brain again. I slid into the farthest front row seat and pretended to admire the view. My bestie Luna pinged me. "Luna, Ava, what's going on with you and Landon? Campus feed is exploding, same elective, enemies to lovers goals. Don't start rumors. Luna, there's photo evidence. Your dream guy slipping you a note. Spill, was it a love letter?" I stared at the blurry shot, Landon bending toward me, my face tilted up, the lighting pure rom-com, cheeks on fire. I typed. It was a declaration of war. Luna, oh, the horizontal kind. I face-planted my phone on the desk, done with that trash-minded woman. More students trickled in. The girl beside me bounced excitedly. You here to watch Landon too? His 10,000 times hotter IRL. Nope, not me, never. The bell rang. A silver-haired professor ambled in. Glad to see such enthusiasm for art. But I have rules. To build teamwork, your capstone project will be done in pairs. My stomach lurched. Please, no. He ignored my mental SOS. Pairing goes by ID numbers, odd with even. My ID ends in 17. Odd. I turned, neck creaking. Landon lifted his gaze, perfectly timed. He closed his book and mouthed 2 syllables, fate. I prefer the term curse. After class he cornered me in the hallway. Ava, about the team-up, nothing to discuss, I snapped, clutching my books. I'll handle the research, write the report, you just sign your name. I refuse to cooperate with someone whose only qualification is cheekbones. The lie tasted bitter even to me. Landon only smiled, advancing until my spine hit cold concrete. He braced an arm beside my head, textbook wall bang. Cedar fogged my senses. Only qualification, he echoed. Did you forget who highlighted the entire calculus syllabus for you last semester? I. Or who slipped the debate team's notes to you the round before finals? I. And who just happened to click enroll for you at exactly midnight? I had nothing. I'd honestly chalked it all up to dumb luck. What do you want? I managed. Nothing much. He dipped until our foreheads almost touched. I could count his lashes and see my own panicked reflection dancing in his pupils. Just a reminder, we're teammates now, Ava. Better get used to me. His fingertips brushed my cheek, featherlight, branding hot. Also, stop saying I'm good for nothing. I've got plenty of virtues. Like. He paused, his thin lips nearly grazing mine, being great in bed. My brain detonated with a boom. From that day on I was more or less glued to Landon's side. For the blasted capstone project we practically lived in the library. He always commandeered the sun-kissed window table, sitting right across from me. When he lowered his head to read, the line of his profile looked sketched by God himself. For the nth time I drifted off, staring at the slow roll of his Adam's apple and wondering how it would feel to kiss it. Ahem. Landon suddenly lifted his eyes and rapped the table. Ava, finished with the sources? I snapped back, flipped a page like nothing happened. Almost. He gave a soft, knowing chuckle and let it slide. A little later he stood up, saying he was going to the top-floor archive to hunt down a rare folio. I'm coming with you. I jumped up at once, no way I'd let him keep the treasure to himself. The archive sat on the library's roof level, rarely visited. The quiet was so dense I could hear us breathe. Tall bookcases climbed to the ceiling, the air thick with the scent of old paper and dust. Landon threaded between the shelves like he owned the place, stopped at one and craned his neck. He stretched up an arm for the book on the highest shelf. The tail of his white shirt rode up, showing a strip of taut waist. Clean lines, zero fat. Higher still you could make out the faint outline of six-pack abs. My mouth went dry. I actually swallowed. He must have sensed my gaze, tilting his head with a wicked smirk. Arms sore, can't reach. Me, like I believe you. Those arms could bench press a tractor. Yet he just stayed like that, arm up, waiting. No choice, I walked over. I'll do it. I rose on my toes, fingers fumbling for the spine. Just as I almost touched it, a large hand clamped around my waist. In the next second the world spun, he swept me off my feet and into a bridal carry. Ah! I yelped, instinctively flinging my arms around his neck. The extra altitude finally let me read the title, Studies in Renaissance Frescoes Star. There, grab it, he murmured, breath brushing my ear and making it itch. My face caught fire. This position, way too intimate. The heat and power in his arms, the thud of his heart against me through two thin shirts landing on my own ribs with every beat. I yanked the book out at random. Okay, put me down. He didn't. Instead, he carried me deeper between the shelves, where it was dimmer and completely hidden. He pinned me against the stack but still refused to release me. Ava. He spoke my name with a slight rasp. W.H. what? My hands had no work-safe address. Just now, he leaned in until our noses touched. Did you get a good look? My brain blue-screened at what? My waist, he laughed, eyes behind his lenses gleaming with mischief, and the abs. Me. He'd noticed. My cheeks went from scarlet to crimson. I wanted a hole to implode into. W. who looked. Quit flattering yourself. Oh. An eyebrow lifted. Then why are you blushing? It's hot. Bad ventilation. Is that so? He dropped his gaze, brushed a feathery kiss over the corner of my mouth. Let's cool you down. Then he kissed me, no polite peck, a deep, possessive, no retreat assault. Cedar mixed with his own scent flooded every sense. My mind blanked, the heavy folio slipped from my arms and slapped to the floor, pages fluttering across the tiles. Just like my heart, routed and in disarray. After that kiss there was a weird new chemistry between us. We still bickered, still roasted each other, but the air always carried a thin, shimmering trail of flirtation. We settled on the commercialization of contemporary art for our capstone topic, tailor-made for the two of us. I'm from arts, handling theory, he's from business, handling analytics. Perfect division, crystal clear on paper. In practice, not so much. Landon, damn him, operated like a client and contractor rolled into one. Ava, your lit review is way too broad, redo it. This case analysis lacks depth, find 3 more comparables. The theory you're citing is last century, update the source. I sat in front of my laptop staring at a document bleeding red from his comments, keyboard creaking under my clenched fists. Landon. What do you actually want? I stormed into his study room and slapped the laptop onto his table. He had one earbud in. At my intrusion he tugged it free and blinked innocently. Something wrong? Something wrong, I stabbed the screen. You shredded 2,500 out of 3,000 word. Are you targeting me on purpose? He skimmed the file, unhurried. I'm only safeguarding our grade. Ava, is this really the ceiling of your game? My mouth opened, nothing came out. Arguing? I never lose. But on rigor. I am, admittedly, less brutal. I inhaled, pulled the laptop back. Fine, revising. I spun around, his fingers snapped around my wrist. Wait. What now? I barked over my shoulder. He towed me out to the balcony. Night wind cooled some of my fury. From his pocket he produced a lemon drop, peeled it, popped it between my lips. Sour sweet. Don't be mad, he leaned on the rail. I'm not singling you out. Then what are you doing? Trying, he hesitated, gaze on the distant lights, trying to make you better. My heart softened, irrationally. You're smart, Ava, I give you that. But sometimes you coast on cleverness instead of building bedrock. He turned to face me fully. I want the maximum score on this thing. Same, I mumbled. Then trust me. He smiled suddenly, ruffled my hair. Good girl. Me, that good girl stroked across my heart like a feather, itchy, tingly. I slapped his hand away, cheeks betraying me with heat. Keep your opinions to yourself. To finish the draft before the deadline we booked an all-night study room. Campus after midnight was hushed, the study lounge held only us. I stared at my laptop until my eyes revolted. Caffeine had quit working long ago and my eyelids were sparring. Running out of steam. Landon had materialized behind me, palms braced on the desk, boxing me between his arms and the wood. Instant defibrillation. That cedar scent again, an invisible net, his body heat licked my back. "Nu none at all." I straightened, pretending alertness. He chuckled, a long finger slid across my screen. "Logic flaw, right here." He bent down, voice low, walking me through the fix. Warm breath fluttered over my ear. I heard 0 words. My brain replayed on loop the glimpse of collarbone under his open shirt, the slow roll of his Adam's apple. I wanted a kiss. Just one. The idea, once released, would not be caged. I must be insane, driven crazy by sleep debt. Got it, he finished, turning to me. Meeting those smiling peach blossom eyes, I steeled my heart. I spun my chair around, grabbed his tie, and yanked him downward. Clearly he hadn't expected it. He stumbled and half fell onto the sofa beside me. I took the opening, swung over, and straddled his lap. Ava! He was utterly dazed, hands hovering at his sides, not daring to touch me. Seeing him so adorably flustered, the smile at my lips deepened. Landon, didn't you claim you were amazing in bed? I looped my arms around his neck, leaned in, and pressed a soft kiss to the hollow of his throat. I felt his Adam's apple slide in a hard swallow. Every muscle in his body snapped tight. I'm here, I licked my lips, voice husky and coaxing, to run a little inspection. The next second I sealed my mouth to his. This time, I held the initiative. Yet after the first shock he flipped the script. Those uncertain hands found a home, clamping hard around my waist. That night was destined to be sleepless. Because of that runaway evening, the air between us turned electric, thin as rice paper, neither of us poking a hole, both knowing exactly what lay on the other side. That afternoon the business school faced off against the College of Arts in the annual basketball game. Luna dragged me to the gym. Ava, look. Landon. He's staring right at you. I followed her finger. Sure enough, Landon stood at center court, gaze locked blazingly on our section. Black jersey, arms and calves cut in clean athletic lines. Sweat slid along the angle of his jaw, indecently sexy. My heart hiccuped. I whipped my eyes away and pretended to study the rafters. Tip-off. Landon moved like a panther, sprint, leap, shoot, every motion charged with power and grace. At halftime he jogged to the sideline, tipped a bottle back, and drank. Water droplets rolled over his throat, vanishing under the jersey. Then, in front of the entire arena, he lifted the hem to swipe the sweat from his face. 8 perfect abs, a sculpted V-line, all gleaming under the lights. Ah! The female half of the stands erupted. I, embarrassingly, joined them. He dropped the jersey, scanned the crowd, and pinned me again. Raising a finger, he mimed shooting me, then added a wink. It felt as if that imaginary bullet had drilled straight through my heart. Final buzzer, business crushed it. As MVP, Landon was tossed into the air by teammates. I thought he'd celebrate with them, but he shoved through the swarm and strode straight toward me. Every spotlight swung my way. My palms went slick. What on earth was he planning? He stopped in front of me and thrust the autographed game ball into my arms. Hold my trophy for me. His voice was sandpaper rough from exertion, stupidly erotic. Before I could answer, his hand cupped the back of my neck and he kissed me hard. The world froze. All I heard was my thundering pulse and the rising tidal wave of screams around us. It was a kiss tasting of salt and raw testosterone, domineering, scorching hot. Next morning campus feed blew up. Boom. Frenemies are true love. Courtside kiss of the century, so sweet you'll lose teeth. Below it, a high-res photo. Landon bending me back, devouring my mouth, me clutching the ball, eyes shut, looking, shamefully, as if I were enjoying myself. I was done for, not even the Pacific could wash me clean. That arena kiss rocketed us to campus royalty status. Archer basically stamped us as an official couple, yet neither of us had uttered the word dating. We drifted along in a fog of not quite, towing every line. That night the forecast warned of thunderstorms. I lay in my dorm bed, tossing. A memory surfaced, sophomore year knowledge bowl lightning round question. Which historical figure feared thunder most? Landon and I slammed the buzzer at the same time. I beat him by 0.01 second, crowed the right answer, then noticed his face had gone paper white. From that day on I knew, thunder terrified him. Outside, lightning forked, followed by a cannon roll of thunder. I snatched my phone and, on impulse, shot him an iMessage. Me, still awake. Minutes crawled before his reply. Landon, no. One crisp word, classic him, but something felt off. Me, where are you? Landon, student office. I bolted upright, threw on a hoodie and ran. The top floor of admin was pitch black except for the glow spilling from his office. I pushed the door. He sat alone on the couch, no books, No laptop, just clenched fists and tendons rope-tight under the skin. Ashen face, the same pallor from years ago. Another flash, his shoulders twitched. My heart twisted. He really was terrified. I walked over and sat beside him. Only then did he notice me, panic still swimming in his eyes. "What are you doing here?" His voice cracked. "Couldn't sleep, went for a walk," I lied. Crack, an even louder boom. He jolted, lips bloodless. I grabbed the throw from the sofa, draped it over both of us, and yanked him into my arms, pressing his head to my chest. "I'm here," I whispered against his ear. "You're safe." His body locked, then slowly melted. He hugged me back so hard I could barely breathe, like I was the last raft in a storm. His heart hammered against my ribs. No kisses, no professions, we simply held each other amid thunderclaps. Yet I felt our hearts touch in a way they never had. That night the untouchable Ice King was just a boy who needed protecting. After the storm broke, the rice paper between us all but dissolved. Next day we ran into each other in the elevator, just the two of us. Silence thickened as floor numbers ticked upward. Suddenly the car lurched and the lights cut out. "Ah!" I yelped, stumbling backward. Strong arms caught me, pulling me into a warm chest Landon's scent. "Easy," he murmured, voice steady, soothing. In the dark I couldn't see his face, only feel the iron band of his embrace tightening. I tucked my head under his chin and let the cadence of his heartbeat chase my fear away. Seconds later the emergency bulb flicked on. In dim amber I lifted my gaze and met his, tempestuous, unreadable. He looked more frightened than I was. The irony tickled me. Last night I'd protected him, tonight he returned the favor. On impulse I lifted a hand to his cheek. "Landon. Are you scared?" A pause, then a soft smile. "Nope. I am." Before surprise could register, I spun him against the wall, rose on my toes, and kissed him hard, hungry, no holding back. To hell with playing coy. To hell with my so-called sworn enemy. I like him, so I'm damn well kissing him. Right then, ding, the elevator doors slid open. A bunch of students who'd just gotten out of class stood outside, gaping at us. At the same instant, every light in the elevator flared back on. Me, Landon, I swear I watched his earlobes turn red at light speed. The elevator door fiasco socially killed Landon and me once and for all. A clip titled "Getting Hot and Heavy in the Lift" blitzed every screen on Archer. Neither of us explained a thing. We just let the world assume. And like that, our status was set in stone and gossip. Yet something still felt missing. A proper confession. Soon the annual campus music festival arrived. As student body president, Landon was, of course, the top organizer. And I, under Luna's martial law persuasion, got muscled into an acoustic number. Night fell. The lawn was carpeted with people. Glow sticks turned the field into a starlit sea. Backstage, my palms were so sweaty I almost dropped my guitar. Landon, walkie-talkie in hand, was busy directing staff. Spotting me, he cut through the chaos. "Nervous?" "A little," I admitted. He smiled out of nowhere, reached out, and tucked a loose strand of hair behind my ear. "Don't be. You'll be on that stage, I'll be in the crowd." His voice was soft as the night breeze. My heart steadied instantly. Cradling my guitar, I sang a ridiculously sweet love Sawyer. The entire time, my eyes stayed fixed on one place in the audience, on the guy holding up his phone's flashlight for me. When the Sawyer ended, thunderous applause exploded around me. The festival closed with the fireworks finale. Dazzling blossoms of color lit the sky, everyone gasped in awe. Landon and I stood side by side on the edge of the crowd. Suddenly he turned, his eyes sparkled brighter than the pyrotechnics. "Ava." His mouth opened, but the usually silver-tongued Landon was stammering. I. Watching his earlobes flush scarlet, I burst out laughing. "You dummy. I'm done waiting." I grabbed his collar and yanked him down, kissing him right as the grandest rocket burst overhead. All surrounding noise faded into ambience. In my universe, only he remained. When we parted, I stared at his still-dazed eyes and declared, "Landon, don't chicken out. Be my boyfriend." He snapped back, crushing me against him so hard I felt he meant to fuse us together. Yes, he breathed into my ear, joy barely contained. The day we officially announced it, Archer's campus feed crashed again. We posted no couple selfie, just the same starry sky on each of our Instagrams. Caption: mine. The comment sections blew up. Luna, hate. My ship is real. I'm moving the county clerk's office to your doorstep. Chase, Landon's roommate WTF? Boss, you serious? Didn't you swear Ava was your one true nemesis? Landon replied to Chase, I hate how she always makes me want to make her cry happy tears. I read that reply, my cheeks combusted. Shameless. Hand in hand we crossed campus, soaking in stares from every direction, envy, jealousy, blessings. Landon's grin never quit. He looked like a cat who'd stolen the whole dairy aisle. Under an enormous sycamore he stopped, pulled a tiny red booklet from his pocket and handed it to me. I opened it, our Archer student IDs tied together with a crimson ribbon. What's this? I asked, though I knew perfectly well. Our little red booklet, he said, eyes blazing. Ava, I've waited ages for today. His fingers trembled faintly. Seeing him so excited, so nervous, my heart turned liquid. How could one man be this adorable? I tucked the red booklet away, pushed him against the trunk, and tilted his chin exactly as he'd once done to me. Knight, you've got your license, shouldn't you do a little official work? Then I kissed him. Passing classmates gasped, I didn't care. My man, my rules, my kisses. After I started dating Landon, I finally understood what it felt like when a romance hero steps off the page into real life. He takes me to every new museum that pops up within driving distance of campus, claiming we're gathering material for our art history capstones. Halfway through a gallery he'll drape his suit jacket over my shoulders to block the chilly AC, casually undo 2 shirt buttons, 6-pack abs flashing. Leaning to my ear he whispers, want to feel? Private access, only for you, and before I can answer presses a scalding kiss to my burning earlobe. He roams the supermarket with me for late-night snack runs. When I can't reach the top-shelf chips, he walks up behind me, plucks them down effortlessly, slips them into my arms, and cages my waist. So tiny, how will you ever reach milk without me? He nips my ear. Call me hubby and I'll fetch anything you want. I flush crimson and punch his ribs. Every dawn he runs with me. Post-jog he hands me a water bottle, trembles on purpose, and spills water all over us. Laughing, I drink from his hand and gently bite his fingertip. His body locks, his gaze turns midnight dark. Ava, you're playing with fire. I answer, then let it burn me up. Our brand of sugar is so sweet our friends can't stand it. Luna howls daily enough. I'm dialing 911 on you too for excessive PDA. Chase looks half dead bro, have mercy, stop feasting on her face under our window and leave some oxygen for single people, please. I look at Landon, he's already looking at me. We smile, love dripping from our lashes. This feeling, bliss. Finals ended, summer barged in. Mom delivered an ultimatum, come home for dinner. She'd invited an old friend and her son. Nyen Nyen, listen, that boy is amazing. Also at Archer, handsome, top grades, you two will hit it off. Instant headache. Plain old arranged date in disguise. I came clean, Mom, I have a boyfriend. Mom blinked. Since when? Which rogue spirited my cabbage away? It's Landon. Landon. Mom's eyes lit up. The kid who races you for first place every term? Wonderful. I saw a photo, such sharp looks. Mom, where's your loyalty? Bring him along. I need inspection rights. So I bit the bullet and rang Landon. Instead of horror, delight. Perfect. I've been wanting to meet your folks. Coincidence, my mom also invited her bestie and daughter for dinner tonight. My stomach lurched. Your mom too? He laughed. She said she wanted us to get acquainted. Why is this plot so familiar? Saturday, I dragged Landon home. He lugged extravagant gifts, dressed in immaculate casuals, shaking like a rookie before battle. Mom opened the door, eyes turning into crescents. Landon, come in, even better looking in person. She hauled him inside, utterly forgetting the daughter standing right there. I trailed after them, sourly wondering whose birth certificate she'd signed. In the living room waited a gentle, elegant auntie. Seeing us, she rose. "Oh, this must be Nyen Nyen, so pretty. Come, let auntie look at you." My mom beamed. "Yes, this is my Ava. Come on, sweetie, say hello tonight." I obediently chirped, "Hello, Night." "Wait. Night." I whipped my head toward Landon. He was already staring back, eyes wide with disbelief. My mom and my future mother-in-law were best friends. Before either of us could recover, Mom disappeared into the den and returned lugging a giant photo album. Come, let me show you something priceless." She flipped to the first page, 2 hospital bassinets side by side. Inside lay 2 newborns, one swaddled in blue, one in pink, both waving tiny fists. "Look, the day you 2 were born, same hospital, neighboring cribs." Mom sighed, nostalgic. Night laughed. "We joked we should just arrange a diaper-days betrothal right then." She reached into her purse and pulled out a crispy, yellowed napkin. Ballpoint scribbles crawled across it. "Today the Sinclair family has a daughter, Ava. The Knight family has a son, Landon. The 2 are innocent and destined. We hereby vow eternal unity." Beneath, 2 flamboyant signatures, my dad and Knight. Me, Landon. So we weren't just mortal enemies turned lovers. We were childhood sweethearts plus a legally napkin-sealed engagement. This world was officially fantasy fiction. We sat on opposite ends of the couch, each balancing a cup of tea, speechless. The silence was deafening. Mom and Knight bustled in the kitchen, chopping and chatting like teenagers. "Turns out you're the little tagalong who used to trail me with a runny nose." I finally cracked. Landon coughed, ears reddening. "And you're the savage who snatched my lollipop." We locked eyes, mutual disbelief shimmering. Knight reappeared with a fruit platter, taking in our expressions. Memory lane. We shook our heads in perfect sync. Too many calendars had flipped. When Landon was 5, his dad was transferred, Knight explained. We moved and lost touch. Fate, though here you are at the same university and, well. She winked. My cheeks burned, I studied my tea. "Must be destiny," Mom declared, setting dishes on the table. After dinner Landon headed out. I walked him downstairs. Night breeze fluttered between us, neither spoke. "Hey." I nudged a pebble. "When did you figure it out?" He stopped under the street lamp, gaze softer than candlelight. "Senior year of high school, the first time I saw you." I blinked. "But you said you didn't remember." "I don't remember toddling around," he said, "but Mom showed me a photo once, a little girl grinning ear to ear, clutching my action figure. The moment I met you, I thought, she looks just like her. So I kept watching, closing in, and yeah, teasing you." Something slammed inside my chest, sour, swollen. Our entanglement had started that long ago. "Landon," I whispered, "you liar." He smiled, pulling me into his arms. I only ever lie to you. For the rest of our lives." Graduation day dawned cloudless. Landon, valedictorian, stepped into the spotlight, regal in black gown. Same cool elegance, but 4 years had layered on poise. I sat below, eyes misty. Time was a sprint. At the close he pivoted. "At Archer I've gained plenty, but my greatest prize was finding someone again. We were rivals in high school, enemies here. I thought winning meant beating her at everything. I was wrong. My real goal? Winning her heart." The amphitheater erupted. My face could have grilled burgers. "Ava." Every head swiveled toward me. "For years ago I lured you with a printout. Today I want something that keeps you forever." He lifted a faded high school varsity jacket, inside out. Over the left breast, crooked stitches spelled, a VA tears crashed down before I could stop them. He descended the stage, one deliberate step after another, then knelt, popping open a velvet box. A diamond caught the sun. "Ava, will you marry me, rival for life, only love?" I bawled too hard to speak, nodding like a bobblehead. He slipped the ring on, applause thundered. My nemesis, childhood friend, lover, now fiancé. We wed at St. Mary's by the Sea. No frills, just family and closest friends. Luna sobbed harder than the organ. Chase clapped. Never thought I'd see Landon get hitched. In white lace I walked the aisle on Dad's arm. Landon waited in ivory tails, fairytale prince incarnate. The priest read the vows. Rings ready, I cleared my throat. I, Ava, take you, Landon. From this moment you are my lawful chief competitor. Half your bonuses are mine. Your six-pack abs, my exclusive playground. Your remaining days belong to me. Laughter rippled. Landon squeezed my hands. I, Landon, take you, Ava. Every future first place is yours. My abs, your property. My forever, signed over. We exchanged bands, kissed while sea wind lifted my veil and sunlight drenched us. I gazed at him, certain, from nursery to reunion, rivalry to romance, we'd come full circle. Perfect. That night in the beachside suite he cradled me, chin resting on my hair. Wife. We still haven't declared the winner. Of what? Who fell first? I rolled my eyes. Obviously you. Me. He arched a brow. Who sketched me in secret during class? Exclamation point. Who kept accidentally jogging past my lecture hall? Who? I shut him up with a slow, searing kiss. Surf purred outside, heat simmered between us. Who cared who surrendered first? Our tale had only just begun, and this time, sweetness would last every page. Thanks for listening. If you loved the story, hit like and share with friends. Drop your thoughts below, subscribe for more. See you next time.